So Disney CEO Bob Iger is stepping down and Bob Chapek will be taking his place. What are some of Iger's accomplishments and who is this Bob Chapek? Let's discuss this all in this video. Hey everybody, Blood Moon Bobby here. So yes, we are going to be talking about the news that Bob Iger is stepping down as Disney CEO and the head of Disney's Parks and Consumer Products, Bob Chapek, will be taking his place. So I've done a lot of research on this video. As much as I know these videos tend to be some of my most popular whenever I talk about studio executives, at the same time I really wanted to get a good grasp and understand as much as I could about these people. I think it's really important. As much as I really enjoy discussing Disney's films and television shows and getting excited for them and doing trailer reactions, I think it also is really important to also discuss the corporate and executive sides of these companies, because I think it really helps me gain a really good understanding of how these organizations work. So we're going to get into all this in this video. So Bob Iger is stepping down as Disney's CEO effective immediately. CNBC said that Iger will stay on as executive chairman until 2021, which I'll discuss more in this video. And Disney Parks and Consumer Products chairman Bob Chapek will become the new CEO. He'll report to Iger and be appointed to the board of directors at a later date. And Iger said he wants to step down now because he wanted to focus on the creative side now that the Fox merger and Disney Plus's launch are all behind him. And this is what Iger had to say, quote, "With the successful launch of Disney's direct-to-consumer businesses and the integration of 21st Century Fox well underway, I believe this is the optimal time to transition to a new CEO. I have the utmost confidence in Bob," referring to Chapek, "and look forward to working closely with him over the next 22 months as he assumes this new role and delves deeper into Disney's multifaceted global businesses and operations, while I continue to focus on the company's creative endeavors." So I definitely believe that Iger was a really financially beneficial CEO for Disney. He's often seen as the guy who launched Disney Plus, which is of course the streaming service I talked a lot about here on this channel, as well as being the guy who ran Disney when they acquired 20th Century Fox, which is now called 20th Century Studios, as well as Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Pixar. He's also seen as the guy who opened Shanghai Disneyland and Saving Disney's California Adventure, Walt Disney Studios Park, as well as Hong Kong Disneyland. He was also running Disney when they were coming out with some of their most fruitful movies. Their animation division was going through a second renaissance, and several of the top 10 highest grossing movies Disney has come out with made it on the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time, not adjusted for inflation, including according to Box Office Mojo. But even outside of this list, Disney has had really successful movies out there. They released really great movies throughout Iger's tenure. This would include movies like Tangled, Frozen, Zootopia, and Moana. The Walt Disney Animation Studios was going through basically a second renaissance. Now, for all that success, that also includes Disney's rather controversial live-action remakes. In fact, the Lion King remake, which is debatably not a live-action remake, has made it onto that top 10 list. Again, not adjusted for inflation that I showed earlier. And this also includes other successful remakes. This would also include Alice in Wonderland and Beauty and the Beast, which that remake I thought was okay, but the tone could get inconsistent at times. And I know with the launch of Disney Plus, it's also ushered in this new age of streaming services where we're going to go from choosing two of the three mainstream options, including Amazon on Prime Video, Netflix, and Hulu, which is interesting because now Disney is now the majority owner of Hulu, but we're going to go from that to choosing two or maybe three of the various other options out there, including studio options like Disney Plus, Peacock, and HBO Max. So definitely a really sort of awkward direction where I think consumers are going to have to choose these services, not just based on, oh, which ones do I like, but they're going to have to choose the ones they like the most, because as you know, we're not all made of money. And that's why I personally you think I'm going to end up paying for Disney Plus and HBO Max, and I might just use the free version of NBC Universal's Peacock. Disney went down this direction, I think, because, they see streaming as the future, but unfortunately they have the mindset of a lot of corporations where it's like, we want to get a piece of the pie, even if consumers won't necessarily pay for all these services. I also know that as a Star vs. the Forces of Evil fan myself, I know that a lot of people have also asked Iger to make a 5th season of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. I've seen that quite a bit on Twitter. Although I'm kind of skeptical about including Iger in this conversation. I know people tweet Iger as well as Disney Television Animation, but I think it makes a lot more sense to ask Disney Television Animation for a 5th season of Star, because they have much more direct control over a decision like that, rather than going to the person who literally has his hands on every single thing Disney does. So why is the transition happening now? I know that when the news broke that Iger was stepping down and Chapek was coming in to be the new CEO, it kind of caught a lot of people off guard. This announcement sort of came out of the blue. I know that it's been expected for a while that Iger was going to step down as the CEO of Disney, but a lot of people are kind of scratching their heads as to why precisely at this moment in time. And I think the reasons why Iger wanted to do this now is because Disney is in really good shape financially. I think their stock price dropped a little, like 2%, when Iger made this announcement, but they're still in really good shape. Disney Plus has gained a lot of subscribers, and their movies are still making a lot of money. So I think it would make the transition a lot smoother to do it while Disney was in really good financial shape. I definitely think they were in a better position than when Michael Eisner left Disney. Not that I think Eisner was a bad leader. Like, I definitely think he helped Disney out in the 1990s especially. But when he left Disney, the company was in really kind of awkward shape. Their animated movies weren't making a lot of money at the time. And also, Disney was in a kind of strained relationship with Pixar. Pixar was considering ending their distribution deal with Disney at the time. So in comparison to when Iger first took over, I think Disney is in much better shape right now, and I think that's part of why he wanted to do this right now, while Disney is in good shape, and wanted to make this transition as smooth as possible. But let's talk about this new CEO. Who exactly is Bob Chapek? And I also think that the reason why they chose Chapek is because he's actually had a ton of experience with Disney. It's kind of funny to think, because Chapek, I think, is a new name to a lot of people, especially for people who follow Disney more on the entertainment side rather than on the business or their theme park side of Disney. But Chapek is actually, I think one of the reasons why he's chosen is because he's a very experienced person. He's worked for Disney for over 20 years, and he's gotten his hands dirty within multiple divisions of the company. Like I said, prior to being CEO, he was the head of Disney's parks and consumer products, and also he was the president of distribution for the Walt Disney Studios and president of Walt Disney Studios Home Entertainment. In fact, notably, he's credited with spearheading the Vault strategy and Variety points out that he took on home entertainment at a time when digital distribution was becoming a lucrative business. So on the theme park side, I think Chapek was chosen because he's had a ton of experience working there as well, especially since Disney's international theme parks are going through a really awkward state right now, which is an understatement to describe it. But I'm talking about how Hong Kong Disneyland and Shanghai Disneyland have had to temporarily close up because of the coronavirus. So I suspect he was chosen because they were thinking maybe he could resolve that issue for Disney's parks in Hong Kong and Shanghai. But on the home entertainment side, I think that's a really big thing, especially with how Disney is really getting into streaming services with Disney Plus, as well as I know Hulu and ESPN Plus, but also in terms of how Chapek took on home entertainment at a time when, like Variety said, when home entertainment was becoming a more lucrative business. So really curious to see what he's going to do with Disney Plus. I really think Disney Plus is just beginning to really utilize the many brand names within Disney. I'd really like to see Disney Plus take on more animated projects from Disney Channel. Not that I want to see every single thing from Disney Channel just get spit exclusively onto Disney Plus, but I'd like to see more Disney Channel's animated properties on Disney Plus. I know that there is a Phineas and Ferb movie coming, as well as I think a new Proud Family series is also coming to Disney Plus, but I would also like to see even more. As much as I like Disney Plus for a more archival means, like I really like how you could basically watch a lot of Disney's movies and TV shows, as well as projects from other companies like the 20th Century Fox movies or Lucasfilm's Willow. I kind of realized that, yeah, it's great made for an archival memes, but I'm not really using the service all that much. So I think if it had some more or appealing original content, it would also really help out Disney Plus. I'm also curious to see how Disney will utilize the 20th Century Fox franchises, both their more adult-oriented franchises, as well as hearing more about the projects they've already lined up for Disney Plus. I know they're doing something with Home Alone, which I'm skeptical of, as well as Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which is kind of interesting. I'd like to personally see like a Diary of a Wimpy Kid animated series with the drawing style inspired by the illustrations in the books. In terms of some of the concerns with Chapek, I know one of the things is that when he was running Disney's parks, he was seen as a very budget-conscious person, the kind of person who was more concerned about budget as opposed to really letting the Imagineers do as much as they wanted. So I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to bring that strategy over to Disney as a whole. He doesn't seem like the kind of CEO that would really rock the boat of Disney or really shift it too far from where they are already going. He has said that he wants to continue working on the foundations established by Iger, including Disney's direct-to-consumer initiatives, though he did say he would look at the market to see what exactly needs freshening up. So he kind of seems like a really kind of cautious CEO that wouldn't rock the boat too much. He also doesn't have as much experience on the creative side, like not nearly as much as Iger. And I also think that's part of why Iger wanted to make the transition now, especially since Iger pointed out he wants to get more on the creative side of the business. So I imagine, especially since Chapek will be still reporting to Iger as Iger is the executive chairman, I think that he's going to try to get Chapek more experienced on the creative side, maybe doing things like greenlighting movies or getting some more projects off the ground. So I think that's also part of why Iger wanted to make the transition out. Even though he had a contract extension, I think he wants to use the remainder of his contract in order to get Chapek more experienced on the creative side of the business. So I'm personally really curious to see where Chapek will take Disney going forward. Like I said, I really think they're just getting started with Disney Plus, and I'm even more curious to see what will happen when Bob Iger officially leaves Disney and when Chapek really gets his hands on the keys to the kingdom, if you will. So I'm very curious to see. I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. What did you think of Iger as the CEO of Disney? What do you think of Bob Chapek? Leave all those thoughts down below. Until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you all for watching. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.